What is our mission? LCHIP, Land and Community Heritage Investment Program, to work with New Hampshire's communities to conserve and preserve New Hampshire's most important natural, cultural, and historic resources. Let's travel now and see how LCHIP has protected these special places. The Monadnock region. Harrisville.
Welcome to Harrisville, New Hampshire. We're in the Monadnock region of southwestern part of the state. This is the Cheshire Mills No. 1 behind me, built in 1849. And my great-great-grandfather and his sons started a woolen mill here in 1850. They ran that mill until 1970. So for 120 years, this was a place of employment for many people in town. And the idea is to fix up the buildings, make them available for people to use so that people can still work in these buildings. If you come along with me now, I'll show you what else has happened.
This bridge is the main entry to the Trip Hammer Shop, building number 3. Before the funding, this building, the Trip Hammer Shop, was in dire need of structural, masonry, roofing repairs, and it was at a point where we knew we really had to undertake those repairs. What LCHIP made it possible for us to do here is really good building conservation with timber frame repairs, with lime mortars used for the masonry work. All these things are not inexpensive, but it's really the way a building like this should be treated, and that's what LCHIP recognizes and allows us to do.
The building's 150 years old. It's had a lot of changes over that time. Our job is to renovate it so that it can be used for another 150 years. The nice thing about the LCHIP grant was it enabled us financially to do it the right way, put it back the way it was originally built. That's what this is all about.
The South Ackworth Village store is the center of this small community. LCHIP helped with its renovation in 2000-2001, and most recently with repainting desired by the insurance company. Without LCHIP, the store wouldn't be here. Conservation of 37 additional acres in Francistown improves access to 1,300 acres of open space around Dinsmore Brook, Shattuck Pond, and the related wetlands complex, as well as a buffer for significant wildlife habitat areas. Renovations will redefine the Wyman Tavern as a cultural heritage center where history comes alive, ensuring future interest in and protection of the most important artifact held by the Historical Society of Cheshire County, the tavern itself. Francistown.
This is the Shot Brennan Falls Reserve, and we're here at the Brennan Falls. 1895, people used to come up here to visit this falls and have picnics here, so it was some of the very early tourism in Francistown.
The urban areas are depending on this for their own drinking water supplies. Certainly for recreational use, I mean, obviously the Piscataquag is a place where people are fishing, they're swimming, they're just enjoying being on the river.
I'm standing in front of the mill pond. This is a favorite bird watching spot, interface of forest and water. It's also the point which many hikers pass by on their way to the Brennan Falls.
But without New Hampshire LCHIP, the property would not have been protected. They were the major source of funds for this property.
This is certainly one of many projects that really, without LCHIP funding, the project would not have come together and happened.
The Friends of the 1794 Lempster Meeting House have been striving toward a single goal for many years: to pass on a saved, structurally sound, beautiful building for the use and enjoyment of future generations. A young farmer strives to turn her 5th-generation farm into a business that supports her family, the land itself, and her community. With LCHIP assistance, a conservation easement brings her closer to achieving the family's core beliefs in local history, culture, and community. Keene.
So we're at this site called the Stone Arch Bridge in Keene. There are a number of Stone Arch bridges, but this is the Stone Arch Bridge. It was built in 1847-48 by Lucius Tilton, who actually is a famous architect, bridge architect.
It's 90 feet high at the center and 50 feet broad. In 1890, Keene was a railroad center.
It helped develop the Monadnock region.
It was built with little to no mortar, so you don't see structures like that anymore. It's built with hand-cut granite, so you have blocks that were specifically made to fit into these areas. It's part of the entrance to the city. We are the Granite State, so it's great to be able to point this out. We're trying to figure out how to do drainage on this portion of the bridge, and in the old pictures you can see this is a specific area where drainage was the problem. It was evident that the structure was becoming deficient, so the first step is determining what repairs are needed. So LCHIP was actually half of our money in order to do that.
LCHIP is so valuable to small communities all over the state of New Hampshire. We could not have proceeded if they hadn't come forward.
We are grateful to LCHIP, very much so. Yeah.
LCHIP impact on New Hampshire since 2000. $30 million of state money invested. Total investment, 325 grants awarded. 143 towns and cities benefited. Total acres permanently conserved. 264,000. 159 historic structures preserved. 18 or more projects have been completed in each of the 10 counties of the state. Investing in New Hampshire's heritage. This is LCHIP.